The massive council chamber stretched endlessly before Ambassador Kreldar. His insect-like wings buzzed nervously as he stood on the speaker's platform. Around him, hundreds of alien delegates from across the galaxy watched with cold, uninterested eyes. Kreldar took a deep breath and began his plea. Honored members of the Galactic Council, I come before you today representing the Zephyrian Collective. For the past year, the Krell Empire has been attacking our colonies. They have taken 14 of our worlds. Our people are dying. We ask for your protection under galactic law. His voice echoed through the silent chamber. For a moment no one spoke. Then the laughter started. It began with Chancellor Vex, a massive reptilian creature with blood-red scales and teeth like knives. His deep, booming laugh filled the room. Soon others joined in. The sound crashed over Kreldar like a wave. Protection. Vex stood from his throne, still chuckling. Your species has no military. You have no weapons. You spend your time trading and studying. Why should we help those who will not help themselves? Kreldar's antennae twitched with barely contained anger, but he kept his voice calm. We are a peaceful people. We contribute to galactic society through trade and knowledge. Surely that deserves protection. Peaceful? Another delegate shouted. You mean weak? More laughter erupted. Kreldar felt his dignity crumbling, but he pressed on. He had one more card to play. We are not alone, he said firmly. We have found allies. Strong allies who will stand with us. The laughter died down. Vex leaned forward, genuinely curious now. Allies? What species would be foolish enough to stand with the Zephyrians against the Krell Empire? Kreldar straightened his posture. The humans of Earth. The silence lasted exactly 2 seconds. Then the chamber exploded with even louder laughter than before. Humans? Vex could barely speak through his amusement. The primitives from that backwater solar system? The ones who only discovered faster-than-light travel 80 years ago. A delegate from the Vorlax sector stood up, clicking with laughter. They still use bullets and missiles. Actual metal projectiles. They have not even mastered basic energy weapons. I heard their own planet tries to kill them, someone else shouted. Their bacteria and viruses are deadly to them. What kind of species cannot even survive on their own homeworld? They are barely a Type 1 civilization, Vex added, wiping tears of laughter from his eyes. They cannot even properly harness their own planet's energy. And you think they can stand against the Krell Empire? The mockery continued for several minutes. Kreldar stood silently, his compound eyes reflecting the sneering faces around him. These were the galaxy's most powerful species. They commanded hundreds of worlds. Their weapons could destroy entire planets. Their technology was thousands of years ahead of humanity's. And they saw the Zephyrians as nothing more than a joke. Finally, Vex raised his clawed hand for silence. Ambassador Kreldar, this council has made its decision. We will not interfere with the Krell Empire's expansion into your territory. As for your alliance with the humans, he smiled cruelly. We wish you good fortune. You will certainly need it. The gavel struck. The petition was denied. As Kreldar and his small delegation walked out of the chamber, he could still hear the laughter echoing behind them. One of his young aides whispered nervously, What do we do now, Ambassador? They will not help us. Kreldar stopped walking. His wings became still. When he spoke, his telepathic voice carried a strength that surprised everyone around him. We do exactly what we planned. We go to Earth. That night, alone in his quarters on the Zephyrian ship, Kreldar sent an encrypted message across the stars. It traveled 40 light-years in mere seconds, reaching a small blue planet orbiting an ordinary yellow sun. The message was simple, Captain Minji of Earth Defense Force, they laughed at us. They laughed at you. Let us show them their mistake. The Zephyrian Collective awaits your answer. Kreldar looked out at the stars and smiled. The galaxy had made a terrible error. They had forgotten one important truth. The most dangerous enemies are the ones you underestimate. 3 months had passed since the Council's rejection. Captain Minji stood on the observation deck of Earth's largest orbital station, watching a strange ship approach. It was beautiful, built from what looked like crystal and light, moving silently through space. Captain, the Zephyrian vessel is requesting permission to dock, her communications officer reported. Minji nodded. Grant them permission. And someone get Admiral Dohayan up here. He will want to see this. Within the hour, Ambassador Kreldar walked through the station's corridors. Human crew members stopped and stared at the tall insect-like alien with translucent wings and multiple eyes. Kreldar noticed their curiosity but no mockery. That was already different from the Galactic Council. In the main conference room, Minji and Admiral Dohayan waited with a small team of Earth's best officers and scientists. Among them was Dr. Sumi, Earth's leading engineer, and Lieutenant Taemin, a young tactical officer known for his creative thinking. Kreldar entered and bowed respectfully. "Thank you for seeing us, Captain Minji." "Admiral Dohayan. I am Ambassador Kreldar of the Zephyrian Collective." "Welcome to Earth's orbital station," Minji replied. "Your message mentioned an alliance. Most galactic species barely acknowledge our existence. Why would you want to ally with us?" Kreldar's wings fluttered. "Because we are both underestimated. The Galactic Council laughed when I mentioned humanity. They believe you are too primitive, too weak to matter." Admiral Dohayan, a gray-haired veteran, crossed his arms. "They are not entirely wrong. Our technology is decades behind theirs. Our weapons are considered ancient by galactic standards." "Perhaps," Kreldar said. "But the Krell Empire is destroying my people and the Council does nothing. We need allies who understand what it means to fight against impossible odds. We need creativity, determination, and the willingness to try unconventional methods. From what we have studied, humans excel at all three." Dr. Sumi leaned forward, interested. "What exactly are you proposing?" Kreldar gestured, and a holographic display appeared. "We offer our advanced energy shield technology and faster-than-light communication systems. In exchange, we ask for military assistance against the Krell Empire." The room fell silent. Lieutenant Taemin spoke up. "Your shielding technology is hundreds of years ahead of ours. Why would you share it?" "Because technology means nothing if there is no one left to use it," Kreldar replied quietly. "In 6 months, the Krell Empire will reach our homeworld. We will be extinct. We need help now, not in 100 years when you develop these technologies yourselves." Admiral Dohayan studied the holographic displays showing Zephyrian colonies under attack. "And what makes you think we can succeed where your people have failed?" "You are survivors," Kreldar said simply. "Your species has fought countless wars on your own planet. You have faced extinction events, diseases, famines, and yet you persist. You adapt. You improvise. These are things my peaceful people never learned. These are things the arrogant council members have forgotten." Dr. Sumi was already examining the technical data. Her eyes widened. "Admiral, these shield systems, they are compatible with our power cores. I could integrate this technology into our ships within weeks." Minji looked at Admiral Dohayan. They had both been waiting for an opportunity like this. Humanity had been isolated, ignored, and dismissed by the galactic community. This could be their chance to prove themselves. But it was also incredibly dangerous. "How many ships does the Krell Empire have attacking your colonies?" Minji asked. "Their current assault force numbers 40 warships," Kreldar answered. "Each one is more powerful than anything in your fleet. And Earth can currently field 12 combat-ready ships," Admiral Dohayan said grimly. Lieutenant Taemin smiled. "Those are terrible odds. I like it." Admiral Dohayan stood and extended his hand to Kreldar. The Zephyrian ambassador looked at the hand curiously, then understood the gesture. He reached out with his 3-fingered hand and they shook. "We accept your alliance," Dohayan said. "Let us show the galaxy what happens when the underestimated work together." 2 weeks later, human engineers worked alongside Zephyrian scientists. The energy shields were being installed on Earth's warships. New communication systems allowed instant coordination across light years. And in a distant star system, the Krell Empire prepared to attack another Zephyrian colony, completely unaware that everything was about to change. A junior Krell officer reviewed the sensor data. "War Merchant Thax, we detect no significant defenses at Colony Delta 7. This will be an easy victory." Thax nodded confidently. "Excellent. We attack at dawn. This will be over quickly." He had no idea that 12 human warships had just dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the system, their new Zephyrian shields humming with power. Colony Delta 7 hung in space like a jewel, its 3 moons casting gentle light on the settlements below. But today 40 Krell warships surrounded it like predators circling wounded prey. War Merchant Thax sat in his command chair, pleased with himself. This would be the 15th Zephyrian colony to fall. The pathetic insect people had no defenses, no weapons, no hope. "Begin the bombardment," he ordered casually. Before his weapons officer could respond, alarms screamed across the bridge. "Sir." Multiple contacts dropping out of faster-than-light travel. 12 ships, unknown configuration. Thax leaned forward, annoyed. "Unknown? Show me." The view screen flickered to life. 12 ships appeared, smaller than his warships but moving with surprising speed. They were angular, brutal-looking things, covered in armor plating and bristling with what looked like primitive projectile weapons. "Scan them," Thax demanded. His science officer worked frantically. "Sir, these ships, they are human vessels. From Earth." The bridge fell silent. Then Thax began to laugh. "Humans? The primitives? Someone actually called the humans for help?" He laughed harder. "This will be entertaining. What weapons do they have?" "Kinetic railguns, nuclear missiles, and some kind of drone systems. Sir, they are using metal projectiles. No plasma weapons, no quantum torpedoes, nothing advanced." Thax wiped tears from his eyes. 40 of our ships against 12 primitive human vessels. This is almost unfair. Almost. He opened a communication channel. "Human ships, this is War Merchant Thax of the Krell Empire. Turn around and leave or we will destroy you." On the bridge of the human flagship, Captain Minji read the message and smiled. Beside her, Commander Arwex, a Zephyrian tactical officer assigned to her ship, buzzed nervously. "Captain, they outnumber us more than 3 to 1, Arwex said. "Their weapons are more powerful. Their ships are larger. Perhaps we should—" "Relax, Commander," Minji interrupted. "They are making the same mistake everyone makes. They think bigger and more advanced always wins." She turned to her weapons officer. "Lieutenant Jiho, are the railguns ready?" "Yes, Captain. All weapon systems are hot." "And our Zephyrian shields?" "Operating at full capacity." Minji opened a fleet-wide channel. "All ships, this is Captain Minji. Remember your training. Stay unpredictable. Keep moving. Make them think we are crazy. On my mark, engage." The human fleet scattered in 12 different directions at maximum speed. The Krell ships, accustomed to orderly battle formations, hesitated for a crucial moment. That was all the humans needed. The UES Indomitable, Minji's flagship, dove straight toward the largest Krell vessel. Thax watched in disbelief as the smaller ship accelerated directly at him. "They are attacking? Alone." He laughed. "Destroy them." Plasma fire lit up the void. The bright green bolts struck the Indomitable's shields and dispersed harmlessly. The Zephyrian energy barriers held perfectly against the Krell weapons. "Impossible," Thax shouted. "How do they have Zephyrian shields?" Before he could process this, the Indomitable fired. Not 1 or 2 shots, but a continuous stream of railgun projectiles moving at a significant fraction of light speed. Hundreds of metal slugs slammed into the Krell ship's shields in seconds, overwhelming them through sheer volume of fire. The Krell shield collapsed. 3 more railgun rounds punched through the armor. Across the battlefield, the other human ships were executing maneuvers that seemed insane. They rolled, spiraled, and changed direction randomly. The Krell targeting computers, designed to predict logical movement patterns, could not track them. Lieutenant Tamine, commanding the destroyer US Thunder, grinned as he sent his ship into a wild corkscrew pattern. Drone swarm launch. Hundreds of small attack drones poured from his ship, each one moving independently, creating chaos among the Krell formation. Another human ship fired a nuclear missile but not at a Krell vessel. It detonated between several enemy ships, releasing an electromagnetic pulse that blinded their sensors for precious seconds. In those seconds, 3 Krell ships died. War Merchant Thax could not believe what he was seeing. His ships were being torn apart by primitive weapons and insane tactics. These humans fought like nothing he had ever encountered. They did not follow proper battle doctrine. They were unpredictable, aggressive, and worst of all, they were winning. "All ships, focus fire on the human flagship," he ordered desperately. 20 Krell ships turned their weapons on the Indomitable. Plasma bolts filled space. But Captain Minji had anticipated this. Her ship's Zephyrian shields flared bright blue, absorbing the massive barrage while her crew fired continuously. Commander Arwex watched in amazement. "Your species? You fight with such creativity? Such controlled chaos." Minji smiled. "We learned from thousands of years of fighting each other. We know every dirty trick, every unexpected move. And now we are using all of it." The battle raged for 2 more hours. When it finally ended, 23 Krell ships were destroyed or disabled. The rest retreated in disarray. Not a single human ship was lost. In the Galactic Council chambers, news of the battle arrived. The delegates who had mocked the Zephyrian human alliance fell silent. Chancellor Vex stared at the battle reports, his expression unreadable. "Get me everything we have on these humans," he said quietly. Everything. 6 months had passed since the battle at Colony Delta 7. In that time, the impossible had become reality. The human Zephyrian Alliance had fought 4 more engagements against the Krell Empire. They had won every single one. Across the galaxy, species that had never given humans a second thought were now paying very close attention. In the Galactic Council chambers, an emergency session had been called. War Merchant Thax stood before the assembly, his pride visibly wounded. "Honorable council members," Thax began, his voice tight with anger. "The Krell Empire formally requests that you sanction the human species. They are using illegal weapons and barbaric tactics that violate all accepted rules of warfare." Chancellor Vex leaned forward in his throne. "Illegal weapons? Explain." "They use nuclear devices as area denial weapons. They employ electromagnetic pulses that disable our sensors. They release swarms of autonomous attack drones. They fire thousands of primitive projectiles to overwhelm our defenses. This is not civilized warfare." From the back of the chamber, a voice called out. "Is it illegal or is it just effective?" Captain Minji walked forward with Ambassador Krell there beside her. They had been summoned to answer the Krell Empire's accusations. The same chamber that had mocked them 6 months ago now watched them with very different eyes. Minji stopped at the speaker's platform. "War Merchant Thax claims we violate warfare conventions. I have reviewed every galactic law regarding combat. We have broken none of them. You use primitive weapons." Thax shouted. "There is no law against kinetic weapons," Minji replied calmly. "You assumed no one would use them because you considered them outdated. That was your mistake, not our violation." A new voice joined the discussion. Ambassador Soral of the Thundari Union, known for their strict neutrality, stood. "The Council must acknowledge that the human Zephyrian Alliance has operated within all legal boundaries. They defend sovereign Zephyrian territory against an aggressor. Nothing more." Murmurs spread through the chamber. The Thundari rarely spoke and never took sides. Their support carried weight. Krelthar stepped forward. 6 months ago, I stood in this very chamber and begged for help. You laughed. You called us weak. You dismissed humanity as primitive." His telepathic voice grew stronger. "Now we have proven that technology alone does not determine strength. Innovation, creativity, and unity matter far more." Chancellor Vex studied them both carefully. Finally he spoke. "The Council finds no violation of galactic law. This session is adjourned." The gavel struck. As the delegates filed out, Vex approached Minji and Krelthar privately. The massive reptilian looked uncomfortable, which was unusual for him. "Captain Minji, Ambassador Krelthar, I wish to speak with you both. In private." They followed him to a smaller chamber. Vex paced for a moment before speaking. "My people, the Dominion, have watched your victories with great interest," he said. "We respect strength and adaptability above all else. Your alliance demonstrates both." He paused. "We wish to join you." Minji and Krelthar exchanged surprised looks. "You mocked us," Krelthar said flatly. "Yes," Vex admitted without shame. "That was before I understood what you were building. The galaxy has grown comfortable, predictable. Our weapons are powerful but our tactics are stale. You humans fight like nothing we have ever seen. You turn every disadvantage into an advantage. That is worthy of respect." Minji considered this carefully. "And what would the Dominion contribute to our alliance?" "Heavy assault ships and experienced warriors," Vex replied. "In exchange, we learn from your tactical methods and share in your partnership with the Zephyrians." Over the next 2 weeks, something unprecedented happened. 7 different species approached the alliance in secret. Each one had watched the victories against the Krell Empire. Each one saw opportunity. The Vorlax offered advanced cloaking technology. The Matherii contributed gravitational weapons. The Silkerin brought biological research that could counter Krell bioweapons. Others added sensor arrays, shield enhancements, and long-range strike capabilities. In a secure meeting room on Earth, General Yuna of the ground forces stared at the holographic display showing all the new alliance members. "This is incredible," she said. 7 new species in 2 weeks. We started with just the Zephyrians." Admiral Dohayan nodded. "The galaxy is realizing that the old powers are not invincible. Species that felt trapped are now seeing another option." Dr. Sumi was working frantically to integrate all the new technologies. "Each species has different systems, different power requirements. But I think I can make them work together. It will take time." "Time is something we do not have," Lieutenant Tamine said, pointing to new intelligence reports. "The Krell Empire is assembling a massive fleet. Over 200 warships. They are planning a final assault on the Zephyrian homeworld." The room fell silent. Ambassador Krelthar's wings drooped. 200 ships. Even with our new allies, we cannot match those numbers. Captain Minji stood and walked to the window looking out at Earth below. We do not need to match their numbers. We just need to be smarter. She turned back to the group. How long until their fleet is ready to move? 2 weeks, Taemin answered. Then we have 2 weeks to prepare the most diverse fleet in galactic history, Minji said. Dr. Sumi, can you integrate the new technologies in that time? I can try. General Yuna, work with the Dominion warriors. Learn their strengths. Lieutenant Taemin, I need you to design a battle plan that uses every species' unique abilities. Minji looked at each person in the room. The Krell Empire thinks this will be their final victory. Let us make it their final mistake. The Zephyrian homeworld of Zephyros hung peacefully in space, unaware of the doom approaching. In orbit, 150 ships from 9 different species waited in tense silence. Captain Minji stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, watching the diverse fleet on her screens. Dominion heavy cruisers with their blood-red armor. Sleek Vorlax scouts with cloaking technology. Matherii gravitational weapons platforms. And at the center, human and Zephyrian ships working together as they had for the past 6 months. Captain, long-range sensors detect the Krell fleet, Commander RYX reported. 207 ships. They will arrive in 10 minutes. Admiral Dohyan's face appeared on the communication screen. All ships are in position, Captain Minji. The fleet is yours to command. Minji took a deep breath. 9 species, 9 different fighting styles, 9 different technologies. The Krell expected chaos. They expected the alliance to fall apart under pressure. They were wrong. All ships, this is Captain Minji. In 10 minutes, the Krell Empire will arrive expecting an easy victory. They see us as weak, divided, primitive. Let us show them the strength of unity. Remember your assignments. Trust your allies. Fight well. Across the fleet, crews prepared. Human weapons officers charged their railguns. Zephyrian engineers monitored the shield systems. Dominion warriors roared battle cries. The Vorlax activated their cloaking fields. The Krell fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel in perfect formation. 200 ships arranged in precise geometric patterns, a show of overwhelming force. Fleet Admiral Krex of the Krell Empire smiled as he saw the defending fleet. Only 150 ships? This will be easier than expected. All vessels attack formation. Destroy them. The Krell fleet advanced in their standard pattern, confident and unstoppable. Then the battle began. 30 Vorlax ships suddenly appeared behind the Krell formation, decloaking at point-blank range. Their weapons tore into the Krell rearguard before anyone could react. At the same time, human ships launched their drone swarms. Thousands of small attack drones filled the space between the fleets, creating confusion and targeting chaos. The Matherii fired their gravitational weapons, creating localized gravity wells that pulled Krell ships off course, disrupting their careful formations. Dominion heavy cruisers charged straight into the Krell center, their massive armor absorbing hits while their powerful weapons dealt devastating damage at close range. And through it all, Zephyrian shields protected the entire Allied fleet, the blue energy barriers holding against the Krell plasma fire. Fleet Admiral Krex watched his perfect formation dissolve into chaos. Impossible. How are they coordinating so many different species? Lieutenant Taemin, commanding a squadron of human destroyers, grinned as he executed a maneuver that used Vorlax cloaking technology to hide his approach, then emerged firing railguns while protected by Zephyrian shields. Because we practiced, he said to himself. 2 weeks of non-stop training learning how to work together. The battle raged for 3 hours. The Krell had superior numbers and powerful ships, but the Alliance had something better: perfect coordination. Each species covered another's weakness. Human creativity combined with Zephyrian technology. Dominion strength paired with Vorlax stealth. Matherii weapons creating opportunities for others to exploit. Captain Minji directed the battle like a conductor leading an orchestra. Dominion Group 3 pressed their left flank. Vorlax scouts, cloak and reposition. Human destroyers, drone screen on my mark. Matherii, gravity well at coordinate 774. Each command flowed seamlessly into the next. The Alliance fought as one organism, not 9 separate species. Fleet Admiral Krex realized too late that he was losing. His formations were shattered. His ships were being picked apart by tactics he could not predict or counter. 47 Krell vessels were already destroyed, with more damaged every minute. All ships retreat, he ordered desperately. But Captain Minji had anticipated this. Vorlax ships appeared behind the Krell retreat route, cutting off escape. The Krell were trapped. Krex had one option left. He opened a communication channel to the Allied fleet. I surrender. The Krell Empire surrenders. In the Galactic Council chambers 3 months later, the room was packed. Every major species in the galaxy had sent representatives to witness this moment. Ambassador Krell stood at the speaker's platform, but he was not alone. Beside him stood Captain Minji, Chancellor Vex, and representatives from all 9 species of the Alliance. Honored Council, Krell began, his telepathic voice strong and clear. 3 months ago, the Terran Zephyrian Coalition achieved victory against the Krell Empire. But this is not a speech about war. It is about what comes after. He gestured to the others beside him. You mocked us when we sought help from humans. You called them primitive. You called us weak. But you forgot the most important lesson in galactic history. The chamber was silent, every delegate listening. Strength is not just technology or firepower. True strength is standing beside those who need you, even when others laugh. True strength is turning strangers into allies and allies into family. Chancellor Vex stepped forward. My people were wrong to mock this alliance. We should have feared them from the beginning. Not their weapons, but their ability to unite the underestimated and overlooked. Captain Minji spoke last, her voice carrying to every corner of the chamber. The Terran Zephyrian Coalition is open to any species that values cooperation over domination, innovation over tradition, and unity over isolation. Together we are stronger than any empire. The Council voted unanimously to formally recognize the coalition. In the weeks that followed, 17 more species applied to join. On the observation deck of Earth's orbital station, Captain Minji and Commander RYX watched the stars together, sharing a drink in celebration. Do you remember when they laughed at us? RYX asked quietly. Minji smiled. I do. And now 12 species stand together because we refused to accept their mockery. Because we believed in each other when no one else would. Far across the galaxy, on a peaceful Zephyrian colony, children of different species played together in the streets. Human children laughed with Zephyrian younglings. Dominion hatchlings learned alongside Vorlak's offspring. The galaxy had changed. Unity had replaced division. Cooperation had defeated arrogance. And it all began with 2 underestimated species who dared to stand together.